Hi, my name is Young. So in the past two presidential terms, we've seen that both parties have shifted to a different strategy on trade. Both are shifting away from the neoliberal consensus. Biden's policy is high fence, small yard, de-risking strategy, basically the new Washington consensus. However, Trump is using a rather blunt tool, tariff, and his campaign slogan is 10% across the board. However, we've seen that even though there is a high tariff on China in the past few years, the intermediate inputs from China to Mexico increased dramatically. And the final product will be assembled in Mexico and then skirt around this tariff issue. So basically, there's still inputs from China, and it actually made China and Mexico push together in trade. So I wonder if Trump's rhetoric on tariff would somehow be deviated from his real policy and whether there is a reconsideration of tariff.
Can I go first?
Trump.
Yeah,
I love this question.
It's a great question.
How many trade deals has the Biden administration done? 2 guesses, 3 guesses, 0. And the Trump administration, we negotiated USMCA, obviously. We had 2 trade deals that went through with Japan.
USMCA was Canada, Mexico,
Yes.
the new NAFTA. Yes.
Thank you. The new NAFTA. We had 2 deals that went through with Japan, plus a very contentious military basing. We got Chorus with South Korea. And then we opened up new trade discussions with the Philippines. I really think it was the Philippines, with the United Kingdom for sure. So you put our record of 4 or 5 trade deals that I just mentioned there to 0 that have happened for the last 4 years. The reason why I bring this up is because the rhetoric and the reality of the policy are so totally different. And that's why I get this question all the time, and it's like mind-boggling to me, because Trump wants to get to a deal. He got to deals. For all the rhetoric that you hear about, woo, Trump and trade, the Biden-Harris administration has produced 0 trade deals. Go talk to the Philippines. Go talk to our neighbors in Latin America. Go talk to our neighbors in Southeast Asia and see how they feel about making 0 headway in this administration with trade deals. We were able to get to deals. So let's not talk about tweets and rhetoric and this and that. Let's talk about policy. Let's talk about action. Let's talk about deals that went before the Senate, because this administration has nothing to show for it. We have a fabulous record on trade. The president, former president, not the current president, basically had a 0 policy on trade. What does that mean? He would have reciprocal trade with you if you had 0 tariffs, and if you had 0 non-tariffs, which is basically like regulatory burdens, and if you did 0 subsidies. Guess how many countries want to take us up on that? 0, basically, right? So he's willing to trade. He's willing to make a deal. We have a very low bar. If the bar is 0 from the Biden-Harris administration, I'm confident that we're going to see a lot more trade deals in a second Trump term, similar to what we did in the first Trump term. That's the reality of what actually happened.
Yeah, I'd just say tariffs for Trump it's leverage. When he's negotiating constantly, tariffs are used as leverage to get to a deal.
I would also say, as someone who's run 5 campaigns, that there's only so much nuance you can offer when you're campaigning. But Howard Lutnick, who is one of the 2 leaders of his transition team, gave an outstanding interview where he did nuance the tariff question. He said, look, when push comes to shove, we don't do 10% across the board. We do the things where we don't have industries, and they do. Whoever they is, China is the usual target of that conversation. So you're impairing American consumers at the minimal amount while you're enticing industrialization in the United States in the industries where that makes the most impact. So it is not, campaign rhetoric only gets you so far. And that's not a fault of either candidate, because they're stuck with time limits and attention limits of the audiences they're talking to. But I thought Howard Lutnick really did a good job of talking about the nuance of that. And Joe's exactly right. Trump is a negotiator, and it's leverage, and it worked. We got the best immigration cooperation with Mexico both ways. They got it from us too, when tariffs were used as leverage because they need us more economically than we need them.